The death of Freddie Gray in Baltimore has reignited the conversation about police officers wearing body cameras.
Recently, a bill was introduced by Senator Coleman Young II that would create a pilot program for cameras to be worn by police in Wayne County. It also creates grants to help offset the costs of the technology.
Senator Young joins us now to discuss this, along with Southfield Police Chief Eric Hawkins, whose department has a limited pilot program with a few officers wearing cameras. Thank you both for joining us here today. Senator, start with you. Why do you want to see every officer wearing a body camera?
Well, first of all, Stevie and Joanne, I just want to say I thought they put you on the $100 bill because you look like new money. Always a pleasure to be here with you. Listen, first of all, I just wanted to say I think the reason why we need to have these body cameras is, one, we need to protect the citizens, especially what happened with Freddie Gray, especially what happened with a lot of things that are going on in the country with Eric Gardner, with Tamir Rice, with Trayvon Martin. It's very important that we have police body cameras on our police officers so that they're protected, but also so that the police officers are protected. Because more than likely, they're doing the right things. Most police officers are good, hardworking American heroes. I am proud to have the endorsement of the Police Officer Association, and there's no association more finer than them. So I think this is a plus for both police officers and for the citizens. They're there to serve and protect.
Chief, let me get to you real quick. You've been considering, I understand, adding body cameras for all of your officers there. Why, first of all, is your department considering that, and has there been any pushback at all in the department?
Well, first, I believe that that body-worn cameras are the wave of the future. You know, we've been considering body-worn cameras for the last 5 years. You know, this was well before what's happened in Ferguson and what happened in New York and some things in Florida. Body-worn cameras will, you know, when you take away the review of things that are happening, they will also protect officers. You know, I got a little bit of pushback when we introduced this about 5 years ago because there were some privacy concerns and, you know, are they going to be watching us? This is a Big Brother type of thing. But one interesting thing is we have in-car video cameras right now. We've had those for several years, and we don't get very many complaints in the Southfield Police Department. But when we do, if that encounter was recorded on in-car video, and 90+% of the time, the officer is exonerated. And it's not because it was a frivolous complaint, or it wasn't because somebody was making things up. A lot of times during an encounter, people forget things. And
now, Chief, let me interrupt real quick. Do you think body cameras can solve this problem that we have that is getting everybody into so many issues of keeping officers from over-arresting, I guess, for a lack of any other term?
Well, body-worn cameras will be a tool. They won't solve everything. You know, there's some deep-rooted problems with police community relations right now across the country, and a lot of it is about communication, reaching out, and things like that. You know, we've been doing some things like that locally to prevent some of those problems. So body-worn cameras will allow us to, you know, give us an extra tool when we have to review incidents when there's a police-citizen encounter, but they won't be the total answer.
Can we talk about costs? Because I think a lot of departments would probably love to have these, and I have to think that they're cost prohibitive in some cases. So, Senator, how does your legislation hope to change that for Wayne County anyways? And ultimately, how would you like to see agencies help to make this possible?
Well, two things. First of all, a great question. Secondly, let me just say, in terms of Wayne County, right now we're going through an appropriation process. So basically, there'd be an appropriation, it'd be a grant funding program, a competitive grant for Wayne County as a pilot in order for them to be able to compete for body cameras. Secondly, the major cost of body cameras is not so much the cameras themselves, but the data storage. So what my bill would do is that it will shift that cost over from local units of government to state government or Michigan State Police. And then there they would store those videos for 5 years. Now, we don't have the same restrictions in terms of that the body camera bill in the House, my companion in the House, Rosemary Robinson, has. There are some, because one, I don't like the fact that you can't go into buildings, and as you know what happened in the situation with Aiyana Jones, where you know, according to the police officer, they walked into the room, you know, when they had a no-knock, warrant, they walked in, threw stun guns, and then there was a struggle with the gun. That gun went off and killed Aiyana Jones. I think that's the reason why we have body cameras, and I also against the fact that it's not subject to for you. I think that takes away from the purpose of the body cameras, which is transparency.
Yeah, Chief, let me introduce. Chief, do you think this is going to happen in Southfield and when? Just for a quick answer here.
Well, again, we've been testing and evaluating body-worn cameras for over 5 years, and 5 years ago, the technology just wasn't there. The equipment was bulky; it just wouldn't fit nice and neat on the officers. And just like Mr. Young stated, there were data storage and data retention issues as well. So we're looking to over the next year or year and a half to really implement these. But again, we've got to be very careful with the implementation of this technology because there are some serious privacy issues associated with this.
We'd love to invite you guys back to talk about those issues maybe at another time. We're out of time for today, but Senator and Police Chief, thank you very much for being with us.
Always a pleasure. You're the best to do it.
All right, thanks.